after
Go. Sorry.
After everyone is done relaxing within the Demi Paradise plane, we have like some discussions about the fact that Eli can't leave, so he can't go with us to help us fight Toolbox's guardian. Um, so we say our brief farewells, and then go through the portal. And there's a freaking huge guy with an axe and a fireball. We fight him, recklessly smashing his face in. Um, and we beat him up real good. And then Bryn and on the first pillar, we find something defo magical, but not Shay's anvil. And the next pillar has a huge chest and contains a small, plain-looking anvil. And Bryn is granted a vision of the quarry and the Kalishtar, like all of them being born, and like all of their lives, all the way back into time immemorial. And her eyes are like stars, and she can see the galaxy. And she gets the anvil. And inside the smaller box is a fist-sized orange gem filled with rolling, twisty fire. A gigantic red dragon. She gets a vision of a gigantic red dragon, Scrathmorn, that looks to be like some sort of Thordak-esque fire elemental gem. Uh, uh, Something or other, and we need to go talk to the Kitanurai to figure out what it is, because everything went kind of fiery and engulfed him in flames. It's power, and he was powerful and unstoppable in her vision. And then we return to the paradise and chill, so that Abreshmina can rest and get her plane shifty spells to get everyone home.
Indeed. So
I should make sure that I've prepped those.
you maybe should.
Well, sorry guys, we're gonna have to sleep here another day because I like took a nap
forgot.
and like totally forgot what we were supposed to be doing.
So, it's what, the next morning or so. You take your rest. You have your spells prepared. You are free to do as you will.
Did Bryn actually cast like identify on the thing, or is it just
Her visions do not constitute
her vision?
casting identify.
Okay.
So do I need to cast identify? Is that what you're suggesting?
If
I do.
Mm,
I'm talking to yes.
right.
Do we want to? Is that what we want to do? I mean, okay. You want me to just take the spell slot, or you want me to ritual cast it? Do we have time for me to ritual cast it?
I'm gonna do it as a ritual casting. Like Eli is summoning up some breakfast from like whatever mystical demi-plane food supply there is here.
For sure.
With plenty of breakfast whiskey.
I cast identify.
Yeah. This is the Red Heartstone. It's a legendary item that, when fused to a powerful being who is in tune with the plane of fire, will give them inordinate power and strength. It is something that you have heard about before, the red gem that glowed in Scrathmorn's chest, that made him the largest and strongest of all the chromatic and metallic dragons. This appears to be that thing.
Isn't the Kitanurai tied to the elemental plane of fire as well?
As far as you know.
Or does she just guard against it?
She is a fire-breathing dragon, but she, like a red dragon, is much more tied to the elemental plane of fire than a gold dragon, which is why they tend to be bigger
But if there were no red dragon left because he died, it might be.
You know, I was just kind of thinking, like, ooh, is this like a power up we can give our ally and make them stronger?
It
But
definitely would make her stronger, but not to the same extent it made Strathmore stronger.
okay,
We
If
have
she
had
something
conversations about the people we can and cannot trust in this campaign. I am not giving a dragon this thing.
you don't
Is Bryn
trust,
considered attuned to the elemental plane of fireballs?
Yes.
have to cast 60 more fireballs, and then yes.
Okay.
All right, line those sheep up. Let's go.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking to make sure that there's not anything else I want to prepare for the day. Okay, yeah. Abrashmina has her spells prepared. And, let's see, how many times can I cast Plane Shift? Just the once, okay. Do I have to plane shift with them? Or can I shift the plane for other creatures? Because it says you and up to 8 willing creatures who link hands in a circle are transported to a different plane of existence.
I feel like from the wording you have to go. You
Okay.
and up to.
We had a long rest, yes?
Yeah.
Since our last fight and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, you just had a long rest, so.
Okay, I was just.
I can bring myself back with my 8th level. And then getting out of here, we were just going to use the dagger, am I right?
I think we had talked about it.
To the oasis.
Didn't you have to make several trips for all the people in here?
Yeah, how many genasi are there?
There's also the mermaids.
Dozen genasi,
What?
4 mermaids.
A dozen genasi. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get all of the genasi in one go. And I have like an odd number of spell slots.
Let me think about. Can I psychic scream my way out?
Yes.
Okay. What about fireball?
Yes.
Well,
Can we teleport out, or does it have to be plane shift?
On a different plane, so.
like we could leave via the dagger.
Okay.
But,
we have to figure out how we're getting everybody else back.
Yeah, Eli can't leave until we get everybody else out, because otherwise, like, the place disappears.
But he's like chilling in this like super cool place, so he's like, whatever, right?
Yeah,
he doesn't. He's just like, okay, bring me another platter of grapes, or whatever.
So, like, I have a 7th, an 8th, and a 9th, so I can plane shift back here, and then plane shift there again. But then I have to sleep there for a day to get all of the genasi home. Although there would be enough space in that second plane shift for you all to come with if you want to check out the genasi's home plane of whatever it was.
How are you getting? Have you got something off theirs to get to the plane?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, I made sure of that already. Yeah, they have a thing. What is it called?
The convex.
The convex. Otherwise I could plane shift 8 there, come back here, and then sleep here, and then tomorrow plane shift the rest of them and come back here, and then plane shift the rest of us. Plane shift me and the mermaid. Math. I don't think it's up to 9. There's 4 mermaids. There's
it feels
5
like 3
of
days.
us. Yeah, it's gonna take some time.
Yeah, so I think if we just kind of agree that you can sort of do it all in 3 days with a plane shift.
Okay.
And then you can, decide who you take when and whatnot, and if you want to spend any time with them, or I'm not sure what your guys' plan is with regard to that kind of stuff. Like how much.
And is that 3 days to get the mermaids out too?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like 2 days for the genasi and a day for the mermaid.
Okay.
And yeah, are you wanting to like spend any time like with in the convex or whatever, or are you just planning on going there, coming back, going there, coming back kind of thing?
I was planning on just going there and coming back unless you all were interested in going there, in which case I could maybe get this done in 2 days, but it would still be 3. So
yeah,
I mean, we're on a time crunch though, right? So I mean, it's not like we can sightsee.
Yeah, we don't want to get too hung up on things, unfortunately. So yeah, very businesslike. Everyone just chills in the Coconut Island plain. Over the hill we hear, "Hey, ladies! bring me a drink."
Who the fuck are you?
Before I do the first plane shift, though, I am going to try a divine intervention just to see if I can maybe get everybody in one go through some divine means.
Sure.
Nope.
Afraid.
Because it would have been if I had decided the dice for the other way around, is a 13 or 31. And I was all like, the gold will be my 10s die.
You don't have a 10?
Yeah, you don't have a 10?
I put them all away because I was like, I'm not going to use a percentile.
You're a silly lady.
Yeah.
Okay, I can re-roll with a percentile if it makes you feel better.
I mean, no, you already had your chance.
Oh, no joke. This is what I rolled the second time with 100%.
That's why you always roll with percentile die.
So mad.
Because you never have to second guess.
Mm-hmm.
So mad.
Oh,
that's what I get.
That's rough.
Oh well.
You, I believe, have learned something today, see?
I have.
Well, I think, yeah, you guys can begin the teleportation and everything. You teleport some of the genasi to the convex probably early on, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're first or near first. You arrive to find that place a little strange. When you appear, you're inside a building, but you immediately get this sense of vertigo, like you're upside down, and your hair like falls and stands up on your shoulder. Though the blood isn't like rushing to your head and you don't feel upside down, there is like, you do feel like you're upside down. there is just like that slight inkling, and the genasi all kind of rush outside, like loving that they've found themselves back home. You are thanked profusely over and over again. But yes, you are, for all intents and purposes, able to take these lovely genasi home to the convex. If you spend any time here, you find it's a really kind of how should I describe it? Like a very odd, non-spherical plane, if that makes sense. It's more like a twisting corkscrew roller coaster ride that seems to like travel on forever. There are all these kind of fires and water and air areas, and everything kind of seems to mingle in the center. It's a place impossible to describe and impossible to understand by those who have not been there. Definitely weirds you out a bit.
You get back and Makuda's like, no, I don't buy it. That sounds silly.
It was
Possible to describe.
It was very silly. Your home is lovely, she says to the ones who are left. More tequila?
A lot more.
Everything doing okay? There's other genasi there? It's not some war-torn, slave-raided demon hellscape.
It looks, it gives you very Ashar vibes. Like it's this big kind of melting pot of, yeah, seemingly exclusively genasi, all of whom are buying and selling, shouting, crying, just living. Seems like strangely alien and yet strangely familiar. It makes you maybe a little bit homesick for Ashar, like living in finding this place that's so like the place you're from, but just not quite the same.
Does sending work across planes?
It does, but you have to roll a D100 and it has like a 5% chance of failure or something.
Okay.
And you don't technically know if it's failed or not, but more than likely succeeds. I think maybe the DM rolls, I don't know.
There's a 5% chance that the message isn't 5. Is there anyone we want to contact? Let them know we are all right. It feels odd to be sitting here enjoying drinks when there's so much going on.
I mean, if it's only going to take 3 days and they knew we were going to some crazy place filled with fiends, then I'm sure they're not expecting us back like immediately.
Yeah, they're not sending rescue until we've been gone for at least 7 days. And then who are they going to send to rescue us?
Fair enough. Abrashmina doesn't do well with the idle time.
Yeah. As for the merfolk, I assume you're transporting them back with you?
Yes. I was probably going to just plane shift us so that rather than coming out wherever we are in the prime material, try and plane shift us closer to the Naiads Oasis.
Okay.
if that is possible.
Yeah. I think so.
I think on the third day that would be the only spell I would have to expend that day to get people home, right? If it's the third day.
Yes,
Okay.
because they're all going to the same place. You don't have to fly back.
Okay. That's what I'll do. On like the days leading up to that, I'm gonna try to send a message to the Naiad and the Druid, of whom I totally remember their names. I should
Abria
have looked
and
them up.
Anim.
Thank you. I'm going to send a message to Abria and Abria first.
Okay.
No, Amin, since he's the water guy.
Okay.
Uh,
Tell me what you say, please.
We have encountered some mermaids in hell. They need a safe place. Would you be willing to provide?
You do receive a response a little while later. That is in the voice of Anim. And he says, I would be happy to. We would be happy to. Is there anything else you require?
She would just send, since like she's not doing anything other than like the plane shifting that day, she would do like another message, or it just says that, like, they were born in captivity, so they are very weak physically. We hope that can change with your oasis. We are fine.
You do receive a response, and it says, we will help them learn to swim again. Please bring them as soon as you're able.
Okay. We are expected, and we are not just dropping off like for invalid mermaid.
Surprise!
Like,
Refugee.
four more mouths for you to feed. I hope your delicate wildlife can handle. Oh well, she's a druid. She can just grow them more food. Okay. Should I do any communing or anything like that while we have all this downtime, you guys? Is there anything pressing we need to know?
Were there any particularly serious questions about the tablets, like the next tablet? Because haven't we got all the tablets we've heard about
Yeah.
now? Or anything to do with that scholar guy?
Oh,
I mean, Goldie.
The stone,
Goldie.
do they know the stone exists? Like, are they actively looking for the stone? If we step out of here with this stone, are they gonna like zero in on us and make come for it kind of stuff? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. So she'll do I believe it's a commune through her little tarot card things. Or is it divination? La 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 la. Okay. We'll do divination first. Single question about a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days, and the GM offers a truthful reply. Might be a short phrase, cryptic rhyme, or an omen. And so she'll do the divination spell, perform her ritual with the cards, and her question would be, what is her question? Is it, are we in danger whenever we return to the prime material plane with the tablet?
No, I was thinking more along the lines of that stone. Like, if we
Oh, the stone.
Yeah, if we walk back to the prime material plane with the stone, are they gonna sense its return and be like, okay, you know what I mean? or is it gonna like
Okay.
wake Scranthorn up because he's all like sleeping and shit? Because this seems like the perfect thing that would be like, oh hey, if we get this, because he's like kind of like in a hibernation state because he was pretty badly injured, right?
Didn't he
Yes,
come
yeah.
to the Hells whenever he was injured to recover?
Isn't that the
I
plane
mean,
of fire?
Yeah.
The Plane of Fire. Okay.
but like he could be like, so I was my understanding that he's kind of like hibernating basically because and trying to recover his strength.
Yeah,
Okay.
under the ocean or something. We sailed over.
This seems like the perfect thing of like, here, let's give this back to him, and it like powers him up. Which
Okay.
I mean,
So-
Makud is an idiot, but I'm interested if he's still connected to the stone. Like,
yeah,
is this still powering him somehow?
Okay.
If another
So-
thing that isn't, because it, as Rob said about it, like you have to be a powerful entity attuned to the fire plane to attune to this, and you get even stronger. So I don't imagine that was Tavexa, if Tavexa even knew what this was for. Like, so maybe no one else has, attuned to it since then. So maybe it's still
the
going.
attunement. Yeah, maybe the attunement hasn't been broken.
Just something.
Oh,
Maybe
that's
phrasing
scary,
the question
Dan.
around or something.
That's scary, Dan.
Yeah, it
That's
really-
so scary.
Possibly. He's still really strong, and this makes
Yeah.
things strong. So that
Yeah.
was just a thought about. You've had 3 days to think it over. I'm sure you probably think about something like that. Like, or Makud will
Yeah.
just errantly mention about
Well,
being
I mean,
strong.
yeah. Okay, so how should I phrase this then?
I don't know. I just told you my thought.
Is the stone safe to bring into
Yeah.
the prime material plane?
Yeah,
Or like, will they come
Okay.
after it? That kind of thing that Jade was saying, I think, is pretty
I think.
pertinent.
Yeah.
Will they come after this if we take it into the prime material plane?
Well, I feel like that can be vague because
Yeah,
like
exactly.
we need to know whether or not they'll be able to sense it once we enter the prime material plane with it.
Okay. Will any of the dragons sense this stone if we bring it into the prime material plane? Question mark. That sound good?
Yeah, I can feel like that's like the start kind of thing. Because like
Yeah.
if we get a no, then we know that's safe. But if we get a yes, we can explore other avenues as far as like the
Yeah.
attunement piece or the, and things like that.
Yeah. Okay. So, will the dragons be able to sense this red heart stone if we return it to the prime material plane?
Yeah.
Is that your final question?
Yes. Yes, that is my final question.
That appears to be the case.
Oh boy. I'm glad I was like, hey, should I commune about anything, you guys? Anything pertinent? Okay. So yeah, Abrashmina will do that commune on feeling really good about herself. She just plain shifted a bunch of genasi around. She saw like a weird place, came back. Makud's all like, you made that up. And then she was all like, hey, I mean, what's
I'm gonna
going
go talk to my
on?
god now.
I'm gonna go talk to my god now. I'm feeling really good about all I've accomplished today. And like Abrashmina just goes pale. And she's
She's
just
like, hey, you should figure out whether or not they'll know what if we bring this heartstone back. And she's like tossing it in the air.
yeah, and like she like has like her cards and like pulls like the inverted death card, the inverted tower or the tower card, and then like she's like, oh, I think most definitely yes, they will know if we bring it.
Bird like almost drops the gem.
Like no. Mina dives into the water after it.
She caught it. She's got decks for
Okay,
days,
okay.
but she was just kind of like one of those things. She just kind of like was watching it like as she was tossing it, and then like took her eyes off of it for a second and like missed it.
Oh no, they have a low jack is what I'm putting in my notes.
So now we have to figure out the degree to which we have to think about the other things and
So
how.
Mm.
if we put it in one of our bags,
Yeah, that was gonna be the next thing. We gotta ask if we can put it into a bag of holding and keep it safe from there, because it's technically not on the same plane. And then just never take it out until we're
Yeah.
ready to do something with it.
we totally have the gem, guys. Believe us. We can't show you it, but
You see, what would happen is
we should all go to another plane just
You
so you can
know,
inspect the gem.
you know how like when Makud blows that big dragon horn, and all of the dragons around are like Kill Bill sirens.
what?
It's like that, only for Straithmore. And we don't, and it happens anywhere. We don't want that. um, so yeah, there's a little bit of panic there, and now we have a few days to prep for that contingency. During which Abarashmina, at some point yesterday, probably, I will say, explain to you all about the deck of many things she got.
Why?
So
Why
you
would you
all,
do that?
so you all know, because she was keeping it secret, and Abarashmina keep it secret. So she explains what that is to everybody, and I propose that I use the card I drew to figure out a way to keep them from sensing the gem or destroying the gem. What do you think? Is that a good thing to use the vizier on?
I mean, can we like use like a regular old talking to God kind of thing?
Maybe, but
And then like if we don't get like an answer that is satisfactory, or it's like entirely too vague, we can be like, okay, now
Rob,
we're
no
gonna.
more bullshit.
Well, no, now we can be like, now it's kind of like that's our ace in the hole kind of thing, and I don't want to blow it when we could get an answer
For something
another
else
way.
later.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean that's a very
Okay.
powerful tool to have that we could use at another very important time.
Okay.
Like
You
who
know,
rules
did-
Frosthaven?
he who sees
He who
everything.
watches. He
He,
who watches.
I know, but like I wanted Maku to say it wrong. But
Oh, okay, okay.
I had to figure out what was the alternative to he who watches. He who sees everything. He didn't know about these tablets, right? Or he didn't know where they were. Maybe the little card thing does. If we don't, if we go back to Kitanarai and we don't have another lead, we might need to ask the card.
That is a very good point, Makud. I feel though I haven't asked Ramiel or he who watches if they know where the tablets are. That probably should have been something that I have done, but I have not.
I thought you
I
might
didn't.
have because we were already this far into this.
I didn't think to, honestly, because we had leads.
Okay. Maybe
'Cause
that was wrong. I thought there was something where you maybe asked and they didn't know because it's different planes and different things and maybe they're hidden.
they didn't know what Riga was searching for in the mine.
Sure.
I don't think.
It's the stuff that goes on below a notice of a guard.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
why that mine is important, which you could ask about, I suppose. But I feel like asking about the tablets might be more pertinent, unless your god knows something.
I should yeah, because like we found the one just on its own, and then whenever we were investigating about it, Goldie was all like, "Oh, I know where another one is." So yeah, she's never had a reason. She hasn't asked about the other tablets yet, so maybe she should.
How many more do we have to find?
Is that
One,
like 5?
I thought there. I don't know why I thought there were 3. I thought there were 3, but
3? Okay.
I don't. I might be wrong.
4 total. 4 total.
Okay, so we're
We have
halfway there.
Whoa.
Halfway there. Okay.
I love you guys so much.
You fucking nerds.
Okay, so on the same day, this is like the first day of whatever. She's used a bunch of sending, and she's used her plane shifts and whatever. Do a commune to ask about tablet locations.
Okay.
Oh wait, the communes are yes or no's. So
Is the tablet.
yeah, is the tablet. So
I mean-
that will have to be a divination, and it'll have to be on a different day. So commune, I can have yes or no questions. I can have 4 of them.
Is there a tablet in the mine? Is there a tablet on this plane? Is there a tablet on this plane? Like,
I feel like, because I did ask if it was worth all. Not because I got a not at all costs response about like the thing in the mine that Riga was looking for, which could just mean that her god doesn't want her to kill herself over these tablets. So that could still be worth asking about, but I feel like maybe no, but we should maybe ask. You can tell that you've gotten things going, Rob, whenever I'm not even pretending to do Abrashmina's voice anymore. It's just like, okay, guys, what are we gonna do for real? So yeah, yes or no? Is there a tablet in Hiera mine? Will the Heartstone be detectable in a bag of holding? One more question.
Who does number 2 work for?
Who's on the Telltale Council?
Oh man, I haven't heard that reference to that fucking movie in a long ass time.
Well, I mean, I think it fit.
Oh, it was excellent.
Yeah. Yes or no? Yes or no question. We could just ask, is Riga involved with the dragon tablets at all? And then if she's not, we can continue to set her aside for now.
ignore her.
To her detriment, probably, but
like a festering wound.
I'm starting to smell a little gangrenous.
I don't care. We're just ignoring that for now until we have to cut the leg off.
Yeah. It's just a little smelly. It's still good. It's still good.
I mean, we're trying to save the world here.
Right.
So there's a world for us to defeat Riga in. So
exactly. Like at this point, like if the if Scrathemore comes back, there won't be an Ashar to have people enslaved in. So gotta take care of dragons before we can worry about stupid elves. Divine intervention. I want them all to get a pox on their wieners. Just kidding.
what, the dragons or the elves?
Wow.
The elves.
The elves. Okay.
I want them all to get bed bugs.
Wiener pox.
Wiener pox. Oh my god.
Even the girls, they all now have wieners and there's a pox.
Oh god.
Good news.
I mean, that would
have a
probably
wiener.
delay their plans.
I feel like,
Quite a
Good
lot.
news, there's a pox.
I feel like the pox is slightly less of the issue if all the women suddenly have penises.
No, but both things would be very
Yeah, both,
distracting to
yeah.
any evil plans the elves had. Just like,
Yeah.
forget about
I'm
the
not-
humans.
you-
We now have wieners.
I did
and
not
if
say
you
that
do
I was
have
making
wieners-
them all male. I was saying they all
Hypocrisy.
had wings.
Like, it's all kind of fun and games and everything, but man, I'm struggling to come up with a more devastating solution that would halt everything while saving lives.
Just stop slavery right now. We need to find some cream. Just whatever cream you can find. We need it now. Right.
Stop now. We've got to teach all these ladies how to piss standing up.
Okay, I'm sorry. Last question. Yes or no
No,
answers.
you need to divine intervention for wiener pox.
Can I create a wiener?
I've already tried it once today. It'll have to
Okay,
be tomorrow.
tomorrow you're going to divine intervention for a wiener pox.
I'm
Yes, ma'am.
imagining you were going to make Heel Watches roll his eyes like for the first time in aeons.
He who watches, he of 1,000 eyes who can see everything, and suddenly those eyes are briefly, for the first time in their existence, off of the world because he's rolling them so hard at average.
Anyways, one more question, you guys.
Does Eli like me? Oh man, clerics would
Can you say something
kill.
like, should we be worried about Riga?
Okay.
I mean, the answer to that's going to be yes.
Yeah.
Doy.
I mean, you could say in comparison to the impending doom of the planet or something.
Just something off the cuff, you know.
Just a little something. Came up off the top of my head.
Here's what I prepared earlier.
While we still have the opportunity, maybe you could say, is there anything worth taking from Tavax's fortress? Because can't we just like pop out and grab something and then leave?
Yes,
Okay.
we can. We need to raid this place. Let's
Raid
go.
it?
Hop,
But if he says no, then we're scot-free and we can just leave. But if he says yes, then we go flipping tables or whatever.
Okay. That's 3 questions. Commune from day number 1. Is there a tablet in your mine?
No.
Okay. Will the heartstone be disposable in a bag of holding?
No.
Anything else worth taking from Tavax's?
No.
Okay. Getting a bunch of no's, my dudes.
That's good. That's good, though.
Yeah.
No.
Can leave with a clean conscience.
We can, and make sure this never leaves the bag of holding.
No.
So, whose bag of holding is it going to be stored in for forever?
I don't think Abrushmina has one. Eli has one.
Bryn will
give it
put
to
it in
Eli.
her bag of holding.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
I mean, I found it.
Yeah. Oh, no, she does have a bag of holding. But no. You can have it.
You've done
I'll keep it safe.
Okay. Day 2. Divination day 2? Day 2. Divination day 2.
I think we can all agree that day 2 needs to start out with divine intervention, wiener pox.
Okay. That's a 9. No, that's okay. We don't have to wiener box the elves. It was
What are
so
you
funny.
divine
joke.
interventioning?
Wiener box.
Okay, divine intervention. Asking for deity's aid and roll a person's headlight. Divine intervention to know the location of the last 2 tablets.
Wiener boxes.
That is a waste of a divine intervention, if you ask me. I'm kidding.
I don't want to troll. That's level 20. That'll be my level 20. Congratulations. Your elves are safe for 7 days.
You are granted a vision. 2 pieces of a tablet, frozen, or not frozen, but in a frozen area, probably far north, seemingly sitting in a mountain cave somewhere. You see what appears to be the skeleton of a large dragon lying beside one of them. And you also see, as you kind of like draw out of the mountain, like these large iron ore veins that seem to be running all through the cave, all kind of along the floor, the ceiling, and the outside wall.
So you say 2 pieces of tablet found in a frozen area, and they're both in caves, but only one of them is near a dragon skeleton, so they're in separate places.
No, they're together.
Right.
Does the name of like the mountain enter Abrashmina's head during like the vision?
This mountain doesn't have a name.
It's pretty distinctive features.
Mm-hmm.
Does it ring a bell to like where it could possibly be? Like if I know like any mountainous regions that are particularly rich in iron ore?
As far as you know, from what Abrashmina describes and what Abrashmina knows, there is no such mountain range in Lament. However, you've heard of such mountain ranges far, far north in the hinterlands. And Abrashmina, that seems to fit with the frigid, snowy atmosphere and the kind of wide emptiness around you. You're pretty convinced that that is where the two are.
Dun dun dun.
Excellent. So only like a sixth of the world's surface or something to explore.
I'm sure now, though, that with that guiding us, we could probably narrow it down rather quickly.
There's got to be people there that know that mountain range.
At the very least, we could send Goldie that way if you trust him.
You're just trying to get out of going someplace where it's snowy again.
No, that is definitely not anything that was on my mind. It was more, didn't want to have to trounce around in the snow any longer than I had to. Maybe.
Perhaps if you take the furs with you and don't have to buy them while you're there.
That was a...
That was poor planning.
I mean, where was I going to get furs like that in the shore? If I paid for them in the shore, they would have been an absorbent fees.
Well,
would not have been able to be paying way too much for them.
I suppose if we had gone the traditional way, you could have gotten them a little farther south, but...
Exactly. Besides, I got them in, big city on river, virus. Not like I bought them in Calland. That would have been silly.
Perhaps. So you suggest sending Goldie there almost as an envoy to get us the answer first, before we trek north to get the answers ourselves. But we have him looking for so many other things.
Exactly. It's entirely if we can find a map of the hinterlands, maybe a mountain range would be apparent, and we can narrow our divine focus.
I mean,
somewhat.
imagine the fact that I'm not able to name a specific mountain range off the top of my head. But that means that there's a lot of mountain ranges there, perhaps?
Hmm. To be fair, I can't name any mountain ranges in Lament. Can you name any in the hinterlands?
Not really. But that's not really an area I've ever been to, so for good reason.
Um,
I'm sure it'd be a lot easier on Dragonback. Like if we take a dragon with us when we go up there and then fly around, we should be able to see.
perhaps we could ask Wraithy if he knows of a dragon that has died in the hinterlands. That is somewhat close to his territory.
Curious, Rob, was the dragon like a skeleton, or was it like, slightly mummified from the cold, or did it look like ancient, or like?
Yeah, it looked pretty fucking ancient.
Okay.
Seem like perhaps either Wraithy or Silver would know of any dragons in that. Silver is from the hinterlands, is he
I was
not?
gonna say, isn't that his stomping grounds?
He might know.
We could ask him. Yeah.
I'm going to send a message to Silver.
Okay.
If not, he might know someone we could talk to.
Right. What's your message?
Silver, do you know of a giant mountain in hinterlands full of iron that once was a home to a dragon?
I'm afraid you don't receive any response.
I'll try again. Same
Rolling
message.
98. That's a 6. Okay, you're fine. I thought it was another 90. He responds, yes, I think I know the mountain range you're talking about. But I don't think there's any dragons there.
She'll send another message. Do you know where the lair might have been for one in that range?
Not really. I never really spent much time there, but we could certainly search.
Okay, and she'll send another message. We'll speak to you soon about this. It is of great importance. Be a few days.
He responds, very well. I'll see you then.
Thumbs up to the group.
Right, so we're halfway there now, and seems like this dragon was trying to make a collection a long time ago.
Perhaps.
Hmm.
I'm curious
We're
who it
closer
might have
than we
been.
thought. So am I. I wonder if they were doing it for themselves or for another, if they were chromatic or metallic.
Can I do a commune to, or a divination to know the name of the dead dragon?
You can do you can do a commune potentially, I guess.
Commune is the yes or no's.
Then
Divination is
you
the short
could
answer.
do that if you tried guessing his name. Yeah.
Oh, the divination, he won't. With a short phrase, I don't, and truthful reply, I wouldn't get
Yeah, no,
a
you
name.
would. You would.
Okay. Sorry.
No, no,
Clerics, man.
I'm not trying to do that. It's more I'm trying to fucking find what the dragon's called.
Continue the stall. Stall, you guys. Are there any other questions that
I'll
we
just-
could ask while Robin's looking this up?
Well, yeah, because I mean, this is like leading down a completely different path. Like, it's opening up things. Like, I mean, because I thought we were gonna have to spend time like trying to figure everything out. Now we're like, oh, we have a destination pretty damn quick.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna get back to
Who knows what?
a Shar and literally have to leave.
That might be the best thing, though, but we'll have to see what the shot is like. We've only been gone for a few days.
Back to a shell. Back to reality.
Back to the prime. Back to the primate.
I mean, I did hope to spend some time at home, but I mean, we've got work to do.
I suppose we should ask the Kitanurai what we should do once we have all 4 of the tablets. Like, what is the plan after that?
Exactly.
We
Do
have
they
them
even have
secure
a
and secure and safe. But
do we even have a plan beyond this?
exactly, I don't know. If there is one, they haven't shared it with us yet. I think they were more focused on the immediate needs of hatching the egg and making sure these tablets were not obtained by the enemy.
You're not concerned about that? That we're running around finding these very powerful objects for them, and they haven't let us in on the least bit on anything.
It is more I think that they don't know the answer themselves. They cannot tell us what they do not know.
Well,
I know that there are those other dragons that we were meant to fight to weaken the opposition.
but that's the thing. If we unite these tablets right now, do we accelerate the end of the plan without having taken care of any of the other things before? And run the risk of dooming our plan to fail because we haven't, as you said, weakened the enemy enough.
Well, it is not like, having all of the tablets mean we are going to go fight Greithmorn right away. We could still go after his allies afterwards. We just don't have to worry about them getting these tablets behind our backs.
I agree with that, but also is it a thing where it's like this gem, where these tablets get in proximity to each other and, we can't control the outcome, we can't control the force that it has?
Who has the first one right now? Does the Kitanurai have it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then you hold on to that one. Me and Makud will hold on to the other 2 in different bags of holding. And never shall the 4 meet.
Yeah, that's gonna go great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that necessarily our allies would be willing to accept that. We walk in, they're going to want this tablet. We walk in, they're going to want this gem. Now, I'm not suggesting that we do
But
anything
they don't know about
fishy.
that gem.
What are you suggesting?
Well, you just said that you are worried that they are going to want to take it from us, and you seem to think that that is a bad idea, so why would we tell them about the gem?
I mean,
If you are so concerned about them taking it.
you're not?
I don't even know what they would do with it. If they took the gem, that would call down the dangers of Scraithmorn upon them, so it would be foolish of them to force us to give it to them.
I would hope that they would see the wisdom in that.
Besides, if they were going to take it from us by force, they would have to manage to take all of our bags of holding, because it's not as though they would know which of us was carrying it.
All right.
I-
So we're going to tell them about it, but we're going to tell them that we're going to keep us with us for safekeeping. Because
As well
we are in possession of information that leads us to believe that if it leads the bag of holding, it would immediately be known to, or very soon be known to Scraithmore that it was on our plane of existence. Correct? We're all in agreement with this?
Mm-hmm.
Because they could be like, no, we're going to take this from you. And if, they kill us all, it's just a matter of,
Then it
taking
won't be our trouble to worry about. It'll be theirs. And they will be foolish ones to have done it to themselves.
I mean, you were awfully flippant about the idea of them murdering us.
I also think that you are perhaps borrowing water when there's no fire.
Yes, but if you were dealing with flammable things, it's always a good idea to keep some water around just to be safe.
You have a tendency to make hills out of moles.
What? Who's piling moles up to make hills?
Is
that
that
something you guys
is that
do?
not the expression?
No.
I think you're worrying about things that are nothing to worry about yet.
Wait, are you trying to say making a mountain out of a molehill?
Yes, making hills out of moles.
No. The moles, they build little molehills. That's where they live, right? And then you're making mountains, which are much bigger. You're not
To
literally.
be fair, we do not have moles in the show. They do not do well in the sand.
I mean, I imagine, yeah, but what kind of monster is going to pile up moles into a mountain? What?
If this was an anime or something, Makood would be hurriedly rushing around, piling up moles that Eli was creating for him in this paradise plane.
Yeah, or either that or Makood slowly sliding his mole pile out of shot.
Just with a hoof trying to push it behind a tree that absolutely does not obscure the giant pile of moles.
Mole flesh.
I think I understand what you're saying. I certainly think that I am making more out of this than what could potentially happen, but I do believe in being prepared for a lot of possibilities. That's how you run successful jobs, is you're prepared for things to happen. There's always things you can't control, but the more things you've thought of in advance and figured solutions to, the easier it is to deal with unexpected and unintended problems.
Of course.
So, I also do know.
Sorry, you go.
I said I don't want to make enemies, so I think we do need to tell them about this gem, but we all need to be in agreement that we're going to make it very clear that this gem stays with us.
Yeah. There is no safe way to give it to any of them without alerting Scraithmorn and his allies.
Exactly.
And that is the last thing that they want. And if they are not ready.
It is a funny place to be a funny place to be in, that we are finding this gem that makes the dragons strong, and then we find these tablets that make the dragons strong. You have to have a lot of faith in the dragons if you want to give them this strength.
I absolutely agree with you, Makun. Do you have the faith in the dragons?
I think we should talk to them. I think we should tell them, and then see if that faith is in the right place. That the tablet was meant to make one of them, immortal or something, or back from the dead, or as powerful as they can be. That kind of power sounds like the kind of power that, even more power than Strathmore has, and he did not do good things with it, as far as we know. We need to know that we'll make the right choice.
I am concerned that we may be trying to slip the yoke of slavery to the elves only to be willingly accepting new masters.
If the graces are to be believed, it is not in their desires to rule over mankind. If you do not believe that aspect of them, then you would have it to be believed that they have been lying to us from the beginning.
A lot of people would say just about anything to blind you to their true intentions.
To be fair, though, they would have told us this lie before any of this had come to light. So it would have taken a great deal of foresight in order to see this far down the line that we would be, doing any yoke slipping.
I mean, they might not be perfect. We aren't. The elves aren't. We don't know a lot about dragons. I mean, people had barely seen any until we started going around. They might,
I think it's another moly hill.
But I think it's a very important thing to figure out before we get halfway through this and realize their true intentions, and by then it's too late.
It was one of the first things that Nahasira said to us, that they do not get involved in the matters of man, much to her own chagrin and anger, it seemed. She does not seem to be a fan of the elves. So I do not think even the likes of the moon elves would have been able to stand up to one grace such as her, let alone many of them.
You do see the problem with this logic, correct? If we give her the power that she needs to meddle in the affairs of humans, and she's no longer has
I do
to
not
worry.
think she needs it. That is my point. If she wants it, it is done.
No, but she has to listen to the other graces and follow what they choose to do. But if she has the power of the tablets and of the other things, she won't have to listen to them, and now she's free to do exactly what she wants to do. I'm not saying she will, I'm just saying that we need to really figure out exactly how we can.
So which one? Nahasira, the Kitanurai, Silver, or Deante, or Reithi? Which one of the graces is dangerous? Which one do you not trust? Do you not trust any of them?
It's not that I don't trust them, I just think it's foolish just to blindly hand someone this much power.
We're not blindly doing anything.
if we're not blindly doing it, then we may be foolishly doing it. And that's not much better. You have to at least acknowledge the fact that there's validity to what I'm saying. That we should be cautious.
There's always sense in being cautious, but I have known you for a long time, Brynhild, and you feel this way about any of our potential allies.
Yes.
And
I
at
don't
some
think
point, you have to trust. Because as much as we might want it, it cannot be us versus the world. We cannot go up against dragons like this alone. Scraitmorn is the size of a city. Do you think your magic is going to be able to withstand something the size of that? Without
no.
allies, we will fall. At some point, you have to start believing in them.
I get that, and I know that we need allies. But I also think that I just think it's stupid to just blindly trust everyone because we're so desperate for allies.
We're not blindly trusting, and we are not desperate for allies. They are the ones who came to us for help.
I don't know. I just think it's the smart thing to do. I'm not sitting here saying we accuse them of anything. We just need to keep our eyes open. I mean, letting us keep the gem, that would go a long way to being like they understand and they're not just using us to collect powerful objects to themselves. So warns caution. And that we're all on the same page and we all understand. Or at least in the same book.
I don't think there was any question about where we stood until you started questioning it. You're accusing them of things that they have not done.
I'm not accusing them of anything.
Or saying that they will do things that they have shown no inkling of doing.
No, all I'm saying is there's potential for them to do things.
There is potential for betrayal and distrust in everybody, no matter who.
I don't understand why you so willingly accept the fact that anyone can betray you without, at least making some type of plan B.
Because I cannot live my life questioning everything and the intentions of everyone around me.
I don't question the intentions of everyone around me.
No?
No, you just have to prove yourself. I mean, saying, well, you could betray me, but I'm going to trust you until you betray me is how you end up dead.
It has worked out for me so far.
Funny, I was thinking the same thing.
What if we go put the thing somewhere, bury the bag, somewhere no one can find it, and then we go talk to the dragons and see what their plans are? Because I don't think we know or we asked what they wanted to do with the tablets, or if they have a plan. Like you said, you don't think they know.
Yeah, I think that's kind of not necessarily dangerous in a way that they're going to betray us, just dangerous in a way of things are happening pretty quickly now. So we need to figure these plans out.
It's a bit different asking what potential plans would be and planning for the inevitable betrayal?
I mean, I'm not planning for the inevitable betrayal. I'm just like, we definitely need to keep in mind that this could be
Thinking
happening.
about an inevitable betrayal.
I'm always thinking that someone's going to betray me. I know, that's the problem. I don't want to argue about this. Because ultimately, it's just me taking care of the things and the people that I need to take care of. And if that means that I have to be distrustful, that's a burden I'm willing to take. Because I don't want to walk in there and be like, well, if they kill us, they kill us. You know,
Certainly
I like
not
Makud's
the
plan.
not the flippant attitude I would have if it was happening. Sure, all I am just saying is that I am not going to anguish myself and gnash my teeth and pull my hair and rend clothes over the idea that they are going to, whenever they have shown nothing but trust and warmth with us so far.
And that's fine. And that's all well and good. But I like Makud's idea. We take the bag, we hide it someplace. Nobody knows where it is but us.
I see there is a tiny part of me that doesn't like the idea of having it out of our sight.
What about here? He like keeps it on this beach, and we go talk to them. You know where it is, and you know who's looking at it.
And it will be 7 days before anyone can get at it again?
Can you not come back here on each day?
Oh, yes, I suppose I could do a plane shift. That's right.
But they can't get here, right? They don't know here exists.
Exactly, yes. That
So
is
it is
So
hidden to everyone.
so if we walk in there and we say, "Hey, we have this item, we're going to keep it safe because if we can't bring it to this plane without, you know, immediately painting a target on our backs," and they go, "That's for the best," then all's well and good. But then if they decide that that's not going to work for them, then we can begin to suss out exactly what their intentions are. Whether it's just we need to explain to them why and give them the opportunity to know the truth, or they truly have ill intentions for us and the power that they're gathering. I see this as a win win. We don't necessarily let them on to the fact that I apparently trust no one.
Well,
And
can you think of an ally that we haven't had this exact same conversation about?
I mean, I trust you and Makud with my
Oh,
life.
I don't know. Makud, has she ever pulled you aside in secret and said, I think that Abrashmina is plotting against us. Makud, we should be careful.
Don't you answer that, Makud.
You get a very like hard-thinking Makud face. I'm not sure he's going to pass the memory check to remember if that ever happened. But
Listen,
that was a 4, like -2 or something. So like 2 to remember if he's he doesn't know.
listen. When I was growing up, all my father drilled into me is that family means everything and you protect the family. Now, we did some shady shit and we got more than our fair share of allies betrayed us. And it taught us that to be more cautious. You guys are my family. I can't let us walk into every situation and run the risk that we're not prepared in case someone betrays us. there are reasons why we have these conversations in secret and not necessarily always in front of our allies, because I don't want them to know that. But I also imagine that these are conversations that they've had themselves about us.
Yeah. I imagine that Eli is off in a hammock somewhere eating, like trying to tie cherry stems
Yeah, he's
with his tongue, because
he's
I don't think Bryn would be having this conversation with him around.
yeah.
Because there was definitely a point in time she didn't trust Eli.
Yeah, he's like
So-
asleep with like a cocktail umbrella on his face or something.
I mean, if you want me to stop bringing these theories or these concerns to you, I'll stop bringing them to you and then just make the plans myself.
No, that is. I do not mean to be flippant or dismissive. Um, they are good concerns to have. It's
Okay.
just at some point you have to trust when there is evidence for such things. With these
I
dragons,
do.
it is new. It is new. And we trusted Goldie with a lot of personal information. I was very hesitant about trusting that one, but you all convinced me for that. I did not
I don't know that
want,
we necessarily gave him too much information of consequence.
perhaps, perhaps not, but we tasked him with finding these tablets, and he could just as easily share that information with anyone else who might ask him. He's very cheap.
Which is why we are going to have to go there first.
Exactly. But
Plus, I think Goldie knows that I would smear him across the wall if he.
oh, we made that very clear. I would help you with that. I have a very big spatula, she says. I could spatula, but a spatula. A very big one to squish his head.
Oh no, I will melt his brain and make it run out of his ears. So I think that he seems to be the type that is very much aware about self-interest.
Whenever Bryn gets angry about someone, and instead of their ears burning, a little bit of cerebral fluid just flows out of their ears.
A little blood down there from their
Little
nostril.
blood out of the nostril, yeah. I was like, huh, weird. My sinuses must be dry. It was just Bryn plotting their demise. Anyways,
All right, so we have one more task before we go to see the dragons. Well, no, we're leaving it here, correct?
yes,
That's
yes.
what we're deciding. But will
We'll
we
leave
have
it
to
here.
recreate this plane?
If I can use the plane shift to come here now that it has been created, yes? We just can't use the rod of security to get here for 10 days.
Yeah,
Correct, DM?
correct. As far as
I
I
So then
wish
we're
me
gonna have,
never repeats that.
so then we're going to have to do this quickly then because we're still on this time crunch, correct?
This plane will be here in 10 days whenever we recreate it, or it'll be here whenever we plane shift. Retrieving the stone will not be an issue as long as I keep plane shift prepared, which I shall do.
Okay. Can we get a quick 5-minute break?
Yeah, I was actually gonna say like I plan to go for another like hour and a half or so, but my back is getting really fucking sore again. It hasn't hurt in a little while, but it's getting quite sore. So I might just call it pretty soon anyway. If everyone's chill with that.
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
I
Okay.
Whatever you need.